Right now, if you didn't know, now you know. TheCzarr All Rights Reserved, CommenterNation, Greatest Nations, United Nations. There's a challenge going on, the I Spotted X challenge. Now, there are a lot of people that are starting to dress up as him and go into public and show themselves, and we're seeing this apparent. Again, I think it could be Halloween costumes, as they mentioned, but a lot of them are sending pictures around saying, oh, this is him, this is him, this is him. I really don't know what their aim is with this. I think that it is something that is deterring the focus away from what's actually going on with these depositions, and it could be something to help people feel a bit better. Another thing is, they're saying that even if a male wasn't involved with the attack on Geneva, there are a lot of people now mentioning that they're alleging that girls were sent to do it. Now, I don't know about this. I don't know the details. I do know someone told me girls were responsible, but I also see the ability, being that they're associated with certain people and a certain amount of females that could have been involved in it. Now, I don't know this situation to be true, but we do know that he was locked up because of something she said. So that could have, again, the way the prowess and power is around his name, of people speaking about him on a challenge, us speaking about the case, it could have been used with that same authority to get a situation handled. Now, I don't know what's true and what's not. I can't tell you this person's right, this person's not. But what I can tell you is that there is a situation. And the pictures they're sending around, some of them look authentic, some of them look fake, some of them look old. I don't know which one to take to. That's what's causing the confusion, because there's no dates on the picture, there's no time on the picture. People are just sending random pictures out. It could have been a picture at a certain time, but I think this is beginning to shake up the game a little bit in the T pages, and that's a lot of what's going on. If you didn't know, you'll see it a lot on Instagram and Facebook, but we're talking about it here on YouTube, since the rest of the people want to react, but they don't want to speak about these type of things. So you're going to see different photos floating around and people saying, oh, this is him, that's him. And it's hard to tell, because there's a lot of people that don't show their face. There's a lot of people that have weird names. There's just been a lot of it. We've seen a lot of it in the comments. There's people that want it to be that's that, this is it. Like, I mean, that's fine. But what does your that's that, this is it have to do with the court case? Is that going to stop a deposition? Is that going to stop these suspects from serving life for them alleging to be involved in this situation? That's my problem. My problem is people are so selfish that they don't even look in detail. They just want something to go away. When you play the let's go away game, you miss vital information. The same game that was played by these investigators to not look into the case. Leave it like that. It's that simple. The same thing, that game they played when evidence turned up missing. Now, allegedly, there's photos that have surfaced about the Riva Motorsports thing and the bank thing. Now there's new photos and there's still images. So when it took this long to do it, you think I'm gonna believe what you have? Unless I have the raw images, I'm not gonna believe a lot of what you do. You need to create them because we spoke about it so much. You're like, well, that's true. And I get that. But don't use that as some excuse for you to deliver it a certain way or make a certain perception with no proof. I mean, you're going to have to show some level of proof that's believable. You can't just flash something in front of our face and say it's real and feed any of it to us like it's the truth when you know it's not. That's a lot of why I spoke about this. Critical thinking is such a tactic that is overlooked nowadays as far as when it comes to these situations and information being revealed. A lot of it, like, I mean, these guys can say, oh, that was the real photo in the video PNB dropped. That was the real young X. Like, people just want to go off on tirades and make that critical thinking. No, critical thinking is me looking at what's delivered. So just because a cop hands you a piece of paper with something saying it, have they ever lied in an investigation, lied in a report? We know this to be true. So how are they going to deliver it to us a certain way to make things seem as if they're something when we know they may not be? This is my problem with a lot of what's going on in media. This is my problem with a lot of what's going to be delivered. And I think this is going to be the make or break for a lot of situations that we know going on with this case, going on with witnesses on the witness list, happening with the lawyers themselves. There's a lot of make or breaks that are going to start occurring. And you got to look into it in detail. I can hand you anything and tell you to go look for it. I can do anything and have you believe it. And that's the way a lot of people are asleep on information. Like, you guys just thought the investigation was solid proof that the information at the hospital, solid proof that the people who were speaking, because here's the thing, millions of you ran and was believing the photos, posts, and things by the people who's claiming they were no longer there. And you're just going to accept that? Really? Victor? And we haven't heard from Panamero Prairie Dog in a minute. So I don't know what's going on with her. You know, to each their own, but, you know, she was a semi-talented musician that actually played an instrument. Not that I thought she was ready to go famous or ready to be big time. I'm not saying that. She was semi-famous to her own right, in her own mind, in her own shine, whatever she called shine. But at the end of the day, if your music doesn't add up, same thing I spoke about dudes who were angry about the way I released the media when I was speaking to them in the DMs. Like, your music has to be a certain way. You can't be like everybody. I took the time to listen to the Tampa music. And, you know, stick with me. These are many different things. See, the crazy thing about this case, there's many different angles. That's why I hit it from every angle. That's why certain people get confused. That shows me the length of your attention span and your intuitiveness. So that tells me you probably were a bad student and you probably don't know how to be responsible for the most part when it comes to thinking through things, because you can't focus on more than one thing. And I have trouble too, but I focus enough that I can read a title, read a description, and get an idea for what's being talked about from what the person speaks about. That's the problem. If you can't do that, you're going to have a hard time understanding things around you. I'm going to tell you that now. Life, it can have many different implications and descriptions to explain things, and you not get the picture. But the thing is, a lot of people can't take no for an answer. Like, that's my thing. If there's an abuser or someone around, they just don't know how to take no for an answer. That shows bad parenting. That shows terrible parents. And if their parents were good, that shows they didn't discipline their child well enough. If your child thinks he can take it into his own hands and force people to do what they want them to do, there's places to help groom people like that. And at a certain age, you might as well hang it up. It's time for you to leave. It's time for you to go out this life, because you can't get yourself together. That's a huge part of discipline. A lot of people don't have that discipline, and they blame it on a parent, not having a mother around, not having a father around. You should be intelligent enough to think through situations and say, I should behave this way, or I should have behaved this way. That's a lot of the time the problem, and most people don't realize that. I mean, all I kick is facts, period. So looking at these T pages, putting up images, have proof. Don't just post a picture and say, oh, they said that this is really him and this is this. Put proof on it. Have some type of proof. If you can't put proof on it, don't put nothing on it. Like, that's my problem. You guys can't post the time. You can't post the date. You can't post the location. You took the picture. You just post a picture and say, this is recent. Like, people aren't going to believe that. You need to add flavor on it. You can't just have photos there saying it's this, that. You need to stand behind it too. You can't just put it out there and say, oh no, they said it was old. Stand behind what it is you post. Like, you got to stand on it. You can't just post pictures to fans and people and say this is real, this really happened, and expect everyone to gravitate towards it, but you don't want to back it. Like, that's crazy. That makes no sense. That defeats the purpose in general. Are you kidding me? You guys think that's authentic? I might go live today, I might not. It just depends. Might go live this weekend, I might not. It just depends. There's a lot happening. I got a lot going on. They got to put respect on my name first. Y'all got to put views on what I need you to put views on, because I don't like when people ask me what's happening now. You can read the title of the video and see what I'm speaking on. And if you don't get it, you need to go through the series and get relevant with it. Like, and if you're new, listen, it's an entertaining series. I interact with many real life situations as I go through this series. It wasn't just bland and one-dimensional. I actually went through some stuff, dealt with people, had issues go on I had to handle during video too. At that, there's a lot of that going on. So shout out to everybody that's been with me during the journey. CommenterNation, the greatest nation since United Nations. I mean, the things I see are crazy. Fiends dozing off in the car, just all types of crazy stuff, man. That's why I do it where I do it, how I do it. The difference. Talking, dealing with officers around, like, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So check out the series, and it's authentic. I don't cover nothing up, and I don't hold back on saying what needs to be said. So a lot of y'all are gonna like it. We got a lot going on in the future. You're not going to get the future if you don't know the past. And if you don't know the present, you don't know yourself. You got to read more. You got to learn more. A lot of these guys don't read, they don't learn, so they stay in the still spot. And you don't learn, you don't earn. It's just that simple. It's that simple of it. Everybody wants the easy way out, but we put in that work and we show our worth. You know how I rock. Your greatest nation since United Nations, your favorite rapper's time, your favorite movie star's time, actor, actress, underneath that, your favorite celebrity's time in general. You know how I rock. All rights reserved.